So in last video, we have discussed some part of the list. In today's video, we are going to continue that and we will see the tuple as well. So we have seen that list is the another standard data types. Okay. Now, see what is the difference between the list and string? That a list can store a different types of data. If we consider the string, then string only stores the characters value. That means it only use the characters. But if we consider the string, then string can have the characters data type as well as the numeric data type as well. So this is the difference between the string and the list. Okay. So list is mostly used because it can store the two data types, numeric value as well as the character value. Okay. So to define a string, we always need to consider, for example, if we want to define a string, we use the double quote, single quote or triple quote, right? But when we consider the list, so for list, we need to consider the square brackets. So to define a list, we need to use the square brackets in Python. Okay, I'll show you in Jupyter Notebook. So I'll define one list here. Okay, so to define a list, I will use the square bracket and I'll define one character, then another numeric value. Okay. If I here is a one thing I need to explain you. If I use a string function, if I use the double quote and if I add the numeric value, then also this numeric data will consider as the string. Okay, I'll show you how. So see, here I have defined one list. Okay, if I check the type of this list function of this list variable, okay, I'll give you, for simplicity, I'll give you the name of the variable is L. Okay, so okay, so list is given here. Okay, for example, if I use one variable, okay, in that variable, if I use the double quote and if I add some numeric value, then only what type I'll get, I'll show you. Type of the variable A will be string. You can see here string is given. So if we write numerical value or the alphabets in double quote, the type of the data will be the string only. Okay, and if I write, suppose if I write any variable with the square brackets and if I add some value in it, then the type of the data will be string. Okay, so I use the type function and it will give me the what is the data type of the variable A is the list. So always remember that if we consider the numeric value, then we did not need to specify it. We can simply write the numeric value as it is. If we consider the alphabets or the number of alphabets, then to write those types, we need to use the double quote. Okay, so to write a string, we always need to use a double quote, a single quote, or a triple quote. Okay, that we need to consider. And to define a list, we need to use the square brackets. Okay, so these three types of standard data types we have seen so far. Let's see the next part. So now we have this tuple. Okay, tuple data type, which is again the standard data type. So tuple is similar to the list in many ways. So like list, tuple also contain the collection of the items, different data types of the different data types. So different data types we can store in the tuple. So the items of the tuple are separated with the comma. Always remember that. I'll use another color to highlight this thing. Okay, so In tuple, we use the comma to separate out the values, okay? And we use the parenthesis, okay? For example, for list, we use the square bracket, and for tuple, we use the parenthesis, okay? Remember that. For list, we use the square brackets, and for tuple, we use the parenthesis. And again, to separate a value, we use the comma function, okay? That we use in string as well, in numbers, or in list also. So these comma we use everywhere, but when we use the parenthesis, then it considered as the tuple. So what is the similarity between the list and tuple? That both these data types, list and tuple, both contain the mixture or the different data types. Both saves the different types of data, okay? So here there's a one example is given, that is t is equal to hi, Python, and 2. Now you can consider that here they have used the double quote. So double quote means hi is the string, okay? This is hi is a one string, then Python is also the another string, and 2 is the numeric value. So, and here they have used the parenthesis, which shows that it is the tuple. They have used the comma to separate out the different objects, okay? Now we'll see the dictionary. Okay, so dictionary is an ordered set of key value pair of items. It is like an associative array or a hashtag, okay? So a plus, where each key store a specific value. So key can hold any primitive data types, whereas a value in the arbitrary Python object. So the item in the dictionary are separated with the comma and enclosed with the curly braces, okay? So here to define a dictionary, we need to use these curly braces. Again, the comma is it used to separate out the object, okay? Now here you can see the one thing, that is, it is given one, then the Jamie, then Alex. So different identifiers are used to store the data, okay? So this is the dictionary. We will see all these things in detail in upcoming videos, okay? So this is just the introduction part, that what are the data types in the Python. So in next video we will learn about the Python keywords, which is very important, and in upcoming videos we will see in detail what are the data types and all.